What's up, y'all? If you love the Raiders, then I want you to go ahead and subscribe to the Raiders Report. We're going to be pumping out a whole bunch of NFL draft content. So if you're wondering, who could the Raiders draft? Who are some potential targets? The latest rumors all going on around the silver and black. So if you see subscribe on your screen, I want you to go ahead and click that. And don't be afraid to also turn on those notifications. That way you don't miss a thing. Raider Nation, what's going on? You're watching the Raiders Report. And coming up here on today's show, I have not one, but two Raiders mock draft reactions. What you're going to be seeing here is I just saw ESPN release a full 7-round mock for the Raiders where they go ahead and do all 5 of their picks. However, I also said last week, if you go ahead become a member over on Locals, that you guys are also going to be able to participate in a mock draft. So I'm going to go ahead, break down each of those mocks, tell you which one I like more, and give you my grades on it. So the first mock that we're going to go ahead and get to here is around the ESPN one that just happened, and this is round 3, pick 86. ESPN says the Las Vegas Raiders are going to take defensive tackle out of Tennessee, Matthew Butler. Personally, when I look at the tape, I don't think he's just a 1 or 2 gapper, which is definitely something that I personally like when I consider what Patrick Graham's going to try to bring here to the silver and black. He does have some good strength. He has some athleticism. What I worry about is his lower half. And literally there's an ESPN, or not an ESPN, an NFL note that says the girth on his lower half, which absolutely made me chuckle, is too tiny. And at 6'4", 295 pounds, I like the tape that I saw against Alabama. He got worked up against Georgia. I do think this guy is going to eventually be a starter in the NFL. However, there's some tape that's really flashy and really good. 47 tackles, 5 sacks, a forced fumble last season. He could help out this team quite a bit because of his versatility. And if he can figure out how to put some more meat and bones, or more meat, I guess, on, or girth, that maybe should be the word of the day, more girth down there in his lower half, he could really turn into be a solid player. At number 4, at pick 126, Mario Goodrich, the cornerback out of Clemson. One of the things that I always talk about when I look at cornerback prospects is how good did they play opposite of somebody else? And round 4, pick 126. I like the fact that he was a team captain. He's extremely physical. And when you talk about a player who is as physical as Goodrich, it does worry me a little bit in terms of, is he going to get too handsy? Is he going to get more flags? Because he got flagged a lot at the college level. Though, he also isn't afraid to tackle. And there's a lot of corners that are a little bit undersized that don't want to tackle. Goodrich takes on that opportunity and isn't afraid to hit somebody. He's a zone coverage corner, which is definitely better for Patrick Graham. But when you're opposite of Andrew Booth Jr., who is probably going to go in the first round, teams target you a little bit more. And at times, Goodrich got picked on. However, that Clemson defense was on the field a lot because Clemson's offense was not very good. He is 6 foot, 190 pounds. Like, he has the size that you're looking for in your prototypical NFL style of corner. 42 tackles, 2 picks, 9 pass breakups. I'll be 100% honest, though. I wouldn't take him in round 4. Now, here's one thing that I'm curious about him. Really excited for this opportunity. Chat Sports, they said, Mitch, I know the Raiders don't have a first. I know the Raiders don't have a second-round pick, which I'm okay with. We got Devontae Adams. They said, do you want to go live for the entire NFL draft, all 63 picks? I said, yeah, I want to do it. So if you want me to go live for the entire NFL draft, we're going to have a good time like we did in free agency. We're going to bring on guys like Sam, Jeremy, Chugs, the entire gang, and make sure you're having a good time. And if that sounds good to you, then go ahead and like the video. Let's look at now the 164 round 5, Spencer Burford. And when I saw this guy come up, the offensive tackle from UTSA, 2 months ago, he was one of my sleeper picks that I was hoping, okay, could the Raiders potentially go out and get this guy? He is starting experience at both offensive tackle spots, so both right tackle and at left tackle, and he's played a little bit at offensive guard. I would love to know his wingspan, and I would love to put him side by side next to Max Crosby because Crosby got the nickname the Condor because of those just ridiculous reach that he has. Burford, he might actually have a larger wingspan than Crosby. Like, this guy, he uses his long arms. He uses his athletic ability. He does need a lot of blocking technique. The footwork isn't 100% there. At times, his hips aren't what you're looking for. If you could tell me that he could come in, get some good coaching. This could be a fifth-round offensive tackle that we go back and we look at in a few years like, man, this guy was pretty good. On top of that, I know Josh McDaniels likes guys who played in the Senior Bowl. A lot of players showed up to the Senior Bowl. He was one of the starters at left tackle. I thought he played pretty well. He also has the tenacity, though, to block on the right side. If you're looking for brand new Raiders jerseys, man, we still got some available, though they are going very quick. If you go to the link that you see down below, it's also going to be in the comments and description of today's video. It's chatsports.com/Raiders jersey. So whether you need a Chandler Jones, whether you needed Devontae Adams, remember, Bryan Edwards and Trevon Merrick, they both switched up their numbers. So if you're like, wow, I got to get one of their jerseys, hurry up. Go ahead and do it. There's going to be a whole bunch of new jerseys coming out as well. If you want some of the OGs, some of the guys like Bolindikoff, if you want a Jim Otto, they're available. Maybe a Bo Jackson, Charles Woodson, or if you want some of the guys on the team already, Derek Carr, Darren Waller, Hunter Renfrow, we got all those. Just got to go to chatsports.com/Raiders jersey. Back-to-back picks here, 164 to 165. This might be the most common name that I've ever seen, and everyone watching probably went to high school with a Ben Brown. And if you didn't, well, I'm going to talk about the offensive guard here from Ole Miss. Backup caliber prospect with good size, two-position roster flexibility. Kind of reminds me of Nick Martin. Remember the Raiders offensive lineman that they signed last year, played center, played offensive guard? That's what Ben Brown looks like. Also, he looks like he's just excited to be on the show. So shout out to Ben. Run blocking is his biggest strength. Wouldn't trust him in pass blocking situations in the National Football League. Definitely lacks the foot quickness. So if he's blocking on the inside, if we'll say an average NFL player who has average speed tries to pass rush him and use only speed, they're going to succeed. He does a much better job when it's a bull rush style, but Ben is just a backup style of player in the NFL, and another guy that I'm sorry I wouldn't take in round 5. The final pick here is a quarterback, which I'm sure I got some of y'all's attention. Yes, in this ESPN mock at 227, and I have to say something. And a lot of the other mocks that I've done, it was at 228 in terms of the round 7 pick. It's now been finalized. It is pick 227. The New Orleans Saints actually lost a pick. So the Saints lost one of their picks. So now instead of having 228, it is 227 for the Raiders. He's a dual threat playmaker when he was up against Ivy League competition. I think he's got average size and an average arm. But if you want to talk about inconsistency and poor mechanics, I don't know if you're going to be able to fix his mechanics in the National Football League. Like, there's going to be coaches that look at him and say, ooh, we might be able to work with this guy. But this pick to me just doesn't make any sense. You have Nick Mullins. You have Garrett Gilbert. With both of those quarterbacks are much better than E.J. Perry. So why are you going to carry a fourth quarterback? And I know what McDaniels said. He wants to be able to work with guys. This would absolutely be a project. But I just don't ever see an E.J. Perry starting in the NFL, nor would I ever want him to even be a backup or a quarterback 3 on a lot of rosters. So the ESPN mock draft was this: Matthew Butler, Mario Goodrich, Spencer Burford, Ben Brown, and E.J. Perry. But as promised, I told y'all we would also go ahead and get into another mock draft. So coming up right now, Locals mock draft. Raider Nation, remember, you can also join us over on Locals at the link that you see below, RaidersReport.locals.com. Not only can you get exclusive videos, I went live on Saturday, I also provide 2 extra videos over there. On top of that, I am giving you guys more power, so you can support the show by becoming a member, which is 100% free. And if you want to become a supporter, it's $10 a month or $100 for the year. So what you're going to see here is a mock draft that I put a whole bunch of polls over on Locals. I told you all to go ahead and vote. And the results of this mock that you're about to see was voted by supporters over there. So remember, if you want more exclusive content, RaidersReport.locals.com. Let's go to round 3, pick 86, the cornerback out of Cincinnati, Coby Bryant, who, yes, was named after the Lakers great Coby Bryant. Productive 4-year starter whose experience just continued to sharpen his football IQ, and you can absolutely see that on the field, especially in big-time situations. Has all the leadership qualities that you're looking for. And in a video that I did in terms of the top players to go out and get at 86, Coby Bryant was in the top 5 in that video. Good size, the build there as an outside corner. Personally, I think he's going to be like a corner 2, corner 3 in the NFL. Zone coverage fits his strength, so Patrick Graham's system would be a good fit for Coby. 44 tackles, 11 PBUs, 3 interceptions. Played next to Sauce Gardner, and my thing I always say is when you're the second best corner and teams target you more, how good actually are you? Or are you getting picked on, or how do the stats look? I saw Coby go up against Alabama, and he looked pretty damn good up against some of those Alabama receivers, so he earned a lot of respect from me. And if the Raiders were able to go ahead and get him, I'd be one happy dude. So what I want you guys to do is we're looking at 2 mocks. There's going to be a lot of different opportunities or a lot of different opinions out there. I want you to name a player you're hoping, fingers crossed, the Raiders go ahead and draft in 2022. The next player coming up here is linebacker Troy Andersen, and I just want to say this. Troy Andersen's not going to make it to round 4, and if he does, I would be shocked. At pick 126, you get the linebacker from Montana State, who is just a phenomenal athlete. And I actually talked to one NFL draft scout, said he might be the best athlete in this year's draft. Now, he's going based off of size, speed, and his versatility. Played quarterback, running back, and linebacker at one point in college for Montana State. Now, I'll definitely say this. He lacks some instincts and experience playing linebacker. However, he's a good enough athlete where if you put him in the right system around the right coaching, he's going to be able to adapt. In worst case scenario, you're looking at a phenomenal special teams player. I think he's a better athlete, a better player than what Tanner Muse was. Tanner Muse went in round 3. I had Muse as a round 5 grade. I actually have Troy Andersen as a round 3 grade. So for us to be able to get him here in round 4, a player who had over 147 tackles last season, it's a really good pick for the Silver and Black. At round 5, 164, the local supporters are going to go with Max Mitchell, the offensive tackle from University of Louisiana. And this guy is somebody who, again, I don't really see him being available here in round 5. And the mock draft that I did was on PFN. Please do not send me your PFF mocks. PFN is the site to use. Coaches loved his toughness, consistency, and leadership. McDaniels and Ziegler, they're going to be looking for guys that have all 3 of those characteristics. You already know that. He's talented enough to play left tackle. However, he would be a right tackle on the Raiders, which I think he could do. Definitely needs some improvement as a pass blocker. But at 6'6", 297, he still has room to get bigger and, room to put on a little bit of muscle. So if I was somebody like Carmen Brasillo, the Raiders offensive line coach, I would see this young man and I'd be like, this guy would be a really good project. Mel Kiper has actually had him in a round 1 mock. Put him in a round 1. Now, he's definitely fallen down a little bit. I could see him going in round 3, maybe round 4, but if the Raiders were able to get him in round 5, it's an absolute steal. If you want more Raiders coverage, remember what I told you at the beginning of the show. Hit that subscribe button. You will not find another YouTube channel that keeps you more up to date or provides more information than what we do. I did an updated Raiders mock draft last week, basically just breaking everything down after the Devontae Adams trade. I also did this video last week. Raiders draft targets, the top 10 players to draft at pick 86. And a fun little fact, 2 of the players that you saw on today's show are actually in that video. So if you want more Raiders content, hit that subscribe button. I promise y'all, you won't regret it. Let's go to round 5, pick 165. It's Marcus Jones, the corner from Houston. This dude might be one of the most fun and entertaining players that you can watch in college football, and I'm not kidding when I say that. I don't think he's ever going to be a corner in the National Football League. However, the Raiders have already held a private workout with him. He's twitchy, he's explosive, he's versatile, 9 special teams touchdowns, and I just think it's because of his vision and his ability to hit his top speed instantly. I know a lot of people throw out the name Tyreek Hill when you're talking about twitchy, fast athletes. But Marcus Jones has the ability to where he's fully stopped and then just goes on a dime. Some of his highlights tapes that I've seen reminds me of like a Dante Hall. You want to talk about a great returner, Devin Hester. Marcus Jones might not ever be, and I don't think he's ever going to be good enough to play corner in the National Football League. But if you're looking for a stud special teams player, offense and defense, and call me crazy, I look at his tape, and I see the Raiders being able to use him on offense. You put him on offense, and you just do that pre-snap read stuff, a lot what Kansas City used to do with Tyreek Hill, NFL defensive coordinators will have to respect it. So if Marcus Jones is up for the task, because his yards after, I was going to say yards after catch, but yards after punt receptions, I don't know what that would be called. Your YAP, is that what that is? He can really just electrify people and scare the hell out of DCs. Let's go to the final player here in this mock from Locals. It's Chris Paul, legendary point guard. No, in the offensive guard from Tulsa, and massive body. And I'm talking like a huge body, thick thighs, long arms, and really intelligent player. And I went through, I looked at my notes. Every single coach that was interviewed at the NFL draft, the first thing that they said was he's intelligent, and everyone in the locker room is absolutely going to love him. However, when you look at his athletic ability, when you look at his foot technique, I don't think I'm ever going to trust him to be a starter, and that's part of when you're in round 7. You're looking for good locker room guys, and you're looking for good backups, good practice squad players. I know Chris Paul is going to show up every single day, and he's going to put in a good work ethic. He might be tempted to go ahead and do a State Farm commercial, but I know he's going to be here. He's going to be grinding it out, and it's a player that I like in round 7 at pick 227. So it's one more time here, guys. Let's look at these mock drafts, and you have ESPN up against Locals, and fair reminder, when the ESPN mock was put out today, you're going to see 227, and then you're going to see 228. It's because PFN, they haven't updated the number yet. So the New Orleans Saints, they lost a draft pick, so one of their comp picks, so that's why you're seeing the different numbers here. But you got ESPN mock, you got the Locals mock draft. Go ahead, look at it. What I want you to do right now is tell me, what is the better mock? If you think it's the ESPN mock, go ahead and type E for ESPN. Or if you think it's the Locals mock done by my supporters and everyone over there on Locals, then I want you to go ahead and type your L. Personally, I thought this one was pretty easy. I thought the local supporters absolutely crushed this mock draft. And sure, it might be a little bit biased because a lot of the picks they made might have been off of some of the notes that I've given in the past. But this ESPN mock, I really wasn't all that crazy about. I didn't like some of the moves that they went out and did for Goodrich, E.J. Perry in round 7. But, Mitch, it's round 7. The Raiders don't need another quarterback, so you're essentially wasting a pick there. So I went ahead and gave the ESPN mock a C-. I gave the Locals mock an A. If you want to go ahead and you made it this far in the video, please let me know your grades. All I would ask you to do is type ESPN : put the grade, and then put Locals : and then put the grade there. Much love to the nation. Enjoy your Monday. I'm going to be back tomorrow for Raiders Live at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, 3 p.m. Pacific.